lesson. It is January 20th, Friday. We were scheduled to critique your logos, but we're going to delay that because I do think it's important that we do a pretty thorough critique, because understanding what was and was not successful there is actually going to feed pretty well into our next assignment. Our next assignment has kind of different components to it. It's a big assignment. It's really a final in a way. In fact, it is the final project, but again, there's multiple steps to it. And I'm kind of moving things around. So because I'm not here, I want to move into us being productive. And really the starting point for all of this is just thinking about what we're going to do for our next big project. So as you may have guessed based on the screen, it's more or less an infographic poster, which means a poster that communicates information through visuals, graphics. So I just Googled infographic poster, and we got a bunch of infographic posters. You can see all kinds of different topics. Some of them are not even real topics. They're just examples. But we can see it's data, facts, information, numbers or words, then presented either through visuals or actual graphs, charts. And sometimes it's a combination. Can I see a great example of that here? No, not really. Sometimes our charts and graphics, we can see how these charts are paired with other graphics. And that's ultimately what we're going to be doing for our topic. And there are additional criteria as far as what you cover and what content needs to be on there, what can't be on there. For example, really the next project we're going to do is a photo-based project where you're going to be taking pictures for this bigger project. And then we're going to talk about other design elements and layout, and then ultimately it all comes together and makes an infographic. But kind of the first step before we take pictures, before we do our planning on our layout, and certainly before we make our poster, finding a topic. And the good news is that's on you. You can do whatever topic you want to do. Long as it's school appropriate, you can do it. It can be big, it can be small. The other real kind of significant criteria I would give to it is you're going to need to take pictures for it. Again, we'll dive into the photo assignment next week, but you will need to take pictures of it. If you did your poster on something as specific as a 1967 Ford Mustang, you can do that. It would be really helpful if you had access to a 1967 Ford Mustang to take pictures of. But if you don't, you would then need to have to be able to take pictures of things related to that topic. Shoot, I don't know. Mechanics tools, a road, whatever it might be. So you don't have to necessarily have to be able to take a picture of a specific thing here. It can be things related to it. But it should be something that you're interested in, something that you have some degree of access to, something that you can research or write about or conduct your own study over. So big topics, global warming. Small topics, my favorite fruits and my favorite sport, my basketball team that I'm on. You could do basically like a basketball card, like player cards and stats on individual people, whatever you want to like. The topic possibilities are almost endless, and I don't want to give you too much information about it because I'd like you to come up with your own creative ideas of interesting topics. What are you interested about? What's interesting about you? That's what you should do this on. Because no matter how big or small the topic is, you're going to be able to dive down into multiple levels, big picture things and then also detail things, because there's going to be multiple pieces of information, as we can see visually here, that we're going to explore. Ultimately, you're going to need kind of 3 little packages at least of information, whether that be comparisons and charts, facts, statistics, anecdotes, whatever it might be. The more you have, the more we have to work with, the better. And that kind of transitions me into what you're going to be doing today. So, first, I'd like you guys to open up a Google Doc. And this is going to be kind of our brainstorming. We've done brainstorming and research and mood boards before. First, just throw out on the doc some different topics that you might explore. I'll give you a little bit of time to pause the video and start typing up different options. Let's say about 5 minutes. Maybe type up different topics and then subtopics within that, even if that works. Okay, give you a little time to do that now. All right, after you have some different topics, maybe focus on just one or two of those that you think are going to be the most fruitful, the most prolific for you to write about and research. Now I'd like you to spend a good chunk of time doing some initial research. I'd like you to pull out 10, 15 different facts. These should be reliable facts. If you can't get a handful of facts right off the bat for this topic, you might want to reassess how you're exploring this topic. If it's a rather personal topic, you should be able to write out, just from your own knowledge, some of these more opinion-based facts. Or if it's a broader topic, choose a topic that there's lots of really good information and resources already available. I'll give you a little bit of time to look into that. Now that you should have a handful of pieces of information that is going to go in this infographic, come up with some different ideas of how best to present that. You could Google different ways to do infographics, and that'll show you lots of examples. Honestly, just look at it this way. Scroll through what you like. You can copy and paste these into your Google Doc for research. Beautifully illustrated things like this are awesome. If you're good at drawing, this might be something that inspires you. If you're not good at drawing, this might be something that inspires you. And then just look at the type of information and how it's presented. Obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but is there something that is a similar type of information and a graphic or chart or an illustration that you like that you can adapt? Remember how we borrowed, stole, cheated for coming up with ideas for our logos? Do that again. If yours is about the different players on your basketball team, find a different thing. So this is not about basketball, but it is about different characters and aspects of those different characters. Okay, take this as inspiration, modify it. So there's plenty for us to focus on here, and the more you do, the more thorough you make this part of the project, the easier the next steps will be. So really then you have whatever remains of this class. I don't know how much the video was or was not actually paused. To put that together, start really collecting all these resources for us to move forward with. Again, remembering it needs to be something relatively accessible because there will be a photo aspect to this project. If you have other assignments missing, particularly the logo that should be turned in today, you can work on those. But I would like to see some substantial collection of resources for this. And of course, this part of your project is very much for a grade, so keep it relatively organized and as thorough as possible. All right, good luck.